Some of you already have a pretty good handle on that. But there's a couple of key things to understand. There's two main types of content in a default WordPress setup. There are pages and there are posts. So the posts are what bloggers would use, or what you might use if you included a blog on your website. Topical content, topical in the sense of it has a relevance today but maybe not tomorrow. This is a great example of a blog, and these are all posts, and some of this stuff, you know, if you look at it next month, it'll be irrelevant. So that's one example of what you would use posts for. But it's not always necessarily things that are topical. It might just be that they're very diverse content, in contrast with the thematic content that you're going to use for your pages. So your thematic content is, for example, you know, the About page on your website if you have one. It's all the stuff that's consistent. It's all part of the same message. It's about your business. It's about who you are. It's about what you do, the services you offer. It all talks about the same thing, and it has a long lifetime. It's relevant. It's relevant for a long time. So diverse content, well, if you want to write about lots of different things, you don't really want to create dozens and dozens of pages for it. So it's another reason you might use a blog. And here's an example. Oh look, it's us. So we have a blog, so we write about lots of different things. Now, if we tried to put all of this in the main content of our website as pages, it would just be unusable. So instead we have a blog, and it's a way we can write about all kinds of things. It also serves another purpose. It's a way to receive referrals from Google. In other words, it's search engine optimization. So we can write about things that are not simply speaking about the services that we offer, and end up with people discovering that information through a Google search and landing on our site. The most popular post on our blog to date is one about how to turn off auto-hyphenation in Photoshop. It gets more traffic than anything else on our website. So,
and it's been up there for years.
It's been up there for years. People continue to visit it, and you know, it's a great example of search engine optimization. Okay. Use high quality images for style and punctuation. Well, okay, punctuation. It's a bit of a stretch for the definition here, but just to kind of break things up, images are great. This presentation is very text heavy, obviously, and most of the people here are probably more into words than pictures. But if you can find some good, create or find some good pictures to throw in from time to time, it really will help. But high quality is important. I mentioned earlier, choosing a theme, what you're getting really is typography and layout from a theme. And this is another thing about this theme directory. I mentioned that plugins are for functionality and a theme is for how things look. And that's an important separation. Let's say you want a feature for your website, and that feature is provided by your theme. It might be something as simple as a contact form on the contact page. So you do the work of building that page and putting the contact form on that page using the feature of your theme. Seems very convenient. But then you decide one day, I'm bored of that theme, I want to switch, I want to make my site look different. You switch that theme and that contact form doesn't work anymore. That's because the theme was doing something wrong. The theme should not provide functionality, it should provide layout and appearance. Plugins are for functionality, because plugins will continue to work between changes of theme. So, this theme directory, the official theme directory on WordPress.org, enforces that difference. It enforces, if a theme includes anything but appearance in its features, it doesn't make it into this free theme directory. Now, again, if there's a pro or a premium version of a theme that you can then go buy from the developer, that may have additional functionality. That's very common. What you then have to do is think twice about whether you're going to use that, because I can't think of any additional functionality that a theme can provide that you wouldn't be able to find in a plugin. So we frequently use premium themes to build client websites, but we avoid as much as possible using any of the functionality components of those themes. We just use them for appearance, and we use plugins for the functionality, so that if in future that client wants to change themes, they can, and the whole website doesn't fall apart.
So what do you do if the theme comes with plugins already? Do you take them out?
That's a different question.
The ones you want?
A theme coming with plugins. That's.
I guess I was a little confused. But
okay, so when you install WordPress, the example I gave was a contact form. When you install WordPress, there's no built-in functionality for creating a contact form. So if you want to create a contact form, you have different options. You could find a plugin in the plugin directory. So we might go here, we might go contact form, and there are lots of plugins that can do that. You might also have a theme installed in your WordPress that has contact form functionality built in. It's not a plugin, it's built into the theme. I'm proposing that you not use that, because if you change your theme later, your contact form isn't going to work anymore.
Okay.
So keep appearance separate from functionality.
So you wouldn't use that theme at all?
You could use the theme, but just not use the contact form component of it.
And you could opt out of that?
Yes.
Okay.
You could simply not use it.
Okay.
Many themes provide many useful things, and you don't have to use them all just because they're there. And in particular, if what the theme does can be done by a plugin, you're often best off doing it using a plugin. Okay. So you've got your self-hosted WordPress with all your content and your themes and plugin stuff. You've got to be making backups. Now, regular backups is the typical advice. My assertion is if it's not automatic, it's not going to be there when you need it. Okay? You may be very disciplined. Some people are disciplined enough that they will always have a backup that they made whenever they made an important change. And so if disaster strikes, they'll have that backup when they need it. But most of us are not that disciplined. For most of us, if the backups are not automatic, the one time you really need it, it's not going to be there. Keep everything up to date. So this is just like when you run, whether you run a Mac or a PC, you get software updates regularly. And they may fix bugs and they may add new features, but one of the most important things they do from the user's point of view is fix security issues. So you have to keep everything up to date to minimize the chances that your website's going to be hacked. Just like you keep your Windows or your OS X updated to minimize the chances that someone's going to be able to install a virus on your computer. And you may be thinking, well, I'm not a big target for hackers. Why would they care about my website? And the answer is they don't care, even in the slightest, about your website. What they want is control of your hosting account. They want to be able to use the resources of your hosting account to either deliver malicious content to other people, or to redirect people to malicious websites, or to launch attacks from your server to another server. They don't care whether you're small time, whether you sell online, whether you have personal information on there, not of interest to them. They just want access to the resources. And almost all attacks, unless you're a big high-profile target like a government or a big corporation, it's not teenagers or 20-somethings sitting in their bedroom, tapping on a computer like you see in the movies. It's automated attacks run by software. And they run all day, every day, against every website in the world. I guarantee you that this website is already under attack, because it exists. Okay, so do all of these things, or of course hire a professional, so you can focus on content. We have one opportunity for that. Okay. Now, you need to be careful if you're looking for a professional to help you with your website. Let's say you've already got your hosting account, and you've probably already experienced this many times. Once you put any kind of contact information online, or once you own a domain, you immediately start receiving all kinds of emails offering you the wonders of first on Google, or cheap development services, or all kinds of great offers. You have to be really careful with this stuff. So here's an example. So what's wrong with this picture, okay? They found our WordPress site via Google. They represent one of the leading WordPress website developing and designing companies of India. We specialise in WordPress. It all sounds great. And it's $13 an hour. Oh my God, what a great price. So they look forward to hearing from us. And they do everything. All these things. They just basically, there isn't anything they can't do for you. So what's wrong with this picture?
The icon, that's not Gmail.
Well,
doesn't look like that.
This I printed out of my own Gmail account, and that is a genuine Gmail icon.
Sorry. It doesn't look like that.
It may look a little different from what you normally see because I printed it to a PDF. But, okay, so to me, the thing that's wrong here is it's one of the leading WordPress website developing and designing companies of India. What's the company? What company?
Yeah.
Where's the company name? It's coming from web design, misspelled, .it@gmail.com. Why isn't it coming from @webcompany.com? Why don't they say what the company name is? It just, I mean, that doesn't make any sense. There's no phone number. It just, run away.